Hey everybody, welcome to SaviTalk. Listen, you are about to embark on the best, probably 45 minutes to an hour ever in your life. Because we're bringing you something new, we're bringing you something just a little bit different to talk about identity security, life, all kinds of things, and having some really rooted and real conversations. Welcome to this journey, and this is the first episode. And listen, you can't have a great conversation by yourself, although some of you probably could, and that's a little scary. We're gonna bring you into this conversation. We're gonna have fun while doing it. So, first host, co-host, Mr. Simon, introduce yourself.
I am Simon Gooch and I'm the field CEO, but more importantly than that, I am absolutely voted by no one the eye candy on this show.
Oh no.
Next up, we got Jim.
I am Jim Routh. I'm the Chief Sommelier Officer here at Saviynt, and I take my job very seriously.
I'm David Lee. I'm the field CTO here at Saviynt, and I'm just here to make sure that I don't get fined.
And hi guys, Enrique here, rock and roll. I'm the SVP of Strategy at Saviynt. Yes, we're four very different hosts, and I can't wait to speak to our first guest. Can you imagine this? We're having Sachin here with us. What's the magnitude of this first guest? So we are very pumped. I can't wait. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm in it. Yeah.
I'm about as excited as I get.
I just hope I don't get fired. Let's rock.
It's going to be a great time. We want to have 4 different hosts so you can get these perspectives. We can bring you into the conversation. And we're going to do that just now. So coming up, we're going to have our premier guest, CEO Saviynt, Sachin himself. Woo! Let's get to the conversation. So we got him, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sachin Nayyar. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. No claps?
Okay.
Golf clap.
Time is,
Clap.
thank you very much. Slow clap, do a slow clap.
I mean, we thought Simon was bad with his writers. See, here we go. No, but seriously, Sachin, thanks for taking the time to come and talk and obviously be the first guest on this. We know, you're a very busy man. Your time is very valuable. In fact, we had to chase you down to get you up here, but
Thank
finally
you.
got you.
Thank you, David, and hello, everybody. All the women in New Delhi, in Gujarat town, who never thought I would be on camera. Now I'm an official actor. So see what you missed out on. So excited to be here with the best in identity, the best in comedy from all over the world. That's amazing.
And you thought you were getting a business podcast?
Not exactly.
Okay, so I'm gonna hand it off to Simon. We're gonna open it up because I want Simon to ask his first questions. But really, we're just gonna have a good conversation. We're gonna have. I heard you like to party too. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later on. I got a question for you.
You don't talk about party, you party. You just party, or you talk.
Oh, okay.
So I want to pick that. So you gave a call back, right? And I want to ask you. So my first question for you, Sachin, is let's just go back. The 10-year-old Sachin, okay? Like, what did you dream? What was your dream? Where did you think you would be today when you were 10 years old?
It's a great question. 10-year-old Sachin, pimples. So first goal was to look good. It's always the objective. Achieved that. Slow clap again.
Yeah. It's golf.
We've got an AI bot that's actually going out to canvas. So.
Yes, please, thank you. And just always wanted to be in business from childhood, because my family have seen the work, and so I was always sort of, and I grew up in a joint family structure. So what that means is we have a 4-story house, and my dad and his 2 brothers, everybody lives on each story of the house, and grandparents on the first floor. And what that does is it's amazing for kids, because you grow up, you work, you sort of know everybody, you work, you see different personalities. You're exposed to politics from a very young age, which always helps you how to manage folks. You understand empathy, you understand all types of folks going through their journey. So it's been in my upbringing to that I really, this stuff doesn't overwhelm me. Being an entrepreneur, etc. But yeah, I always wanted to be in business and just get through school. I was always good at it, but never very fond of it. So and try to get at some point a girlfriend, which I never did. So till I met my wife in college, and she's asking herself what I made her website. So that was the deal maker. Yeah.
So you can categorically say you imagined as a 10-year-old that you'd be with three of the best looking people in your company. And when I say three of the best, I mean the three best.
This is an absolute honor. I mean, with being this, I mean, nowhere. Yeah, this is amazing. This is like a dream come true. A 10-year-old, this is a dream come true.
But one person's dream is another person's nightmare, right?
Yeah, this is a dream come true. Yes, but in all honesty, I'm obviously honored. You know, I mean, the folks on this table and being here with these folks. I mean, it's unbelievable. So thank you so much. I'm genuinely honored to be here.
We should get a bit more serious. So I'm going to hand over to Shin.
I hate when that happens. Sachin, I'm really curious in terms of what your thoughts were about focusing on identity and building a business around identity, because that seems to be part of your DNA from, your first professional start, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So how did that?
Yeah. So a big thanks for that has to go to Ernst & Young.
Mm-hmm.
So, out of college, I started my journey with Ernst & Young, and very early they realized I had some technical skills, and they were starting this new group in cybersecurity. I forget the name of the group, some cyber risk analysis. And as part of that project, one day they said, as part of that group, after I was with the firm for 3 years or something, they said, "Hey, we have a great project and it was for RBAC." I'm like, "What is RBAC?"
And that was probably pretty sexy back then.
Yes. Yes. It was being
As scary as that sounds.
It's sexy now, Jim. It's sexy now. RBAC is sexy.
Is that right?
RBAC is, we are bringing the sexy back to RBAC.
Sexy.
Yeah, we're bringing the sexy back.
Single drops next week, folks.
Yo. Yes. So that project, which was with a very large enterprise, they were spending a lot of money, millions of dollars, on our role-based access control project and user provisioning, because their executive management believed that would add value. This was, again, a very large enterprise. And I think they must have spent in the tune of, I don't know, $20 to $30 million at that time.
Wow.
This is 20 years ago.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, at that time on this project. And, when I walked in, I realized that there were 20 people trying to build roles for this company. And there were 3 people trying to do the technology and the product. And I spent time on the product at that time. And the product wasn't ready to consume all the business roles that we were defining for this company, depending, across their departments, et cetera. So I told them that. I could see
That'd be an overwhelm, I'm sure.
Yes, I was young and exuberant, and I just said it as is, and I still remember the project manager slowly taking off out a handkerchief, wiping the sweat of it, and then I was off the project, next week, and my manager said, you're very good, but you're missing salt. You're missing the salt. So I said, that's great, no problem. We'll get more salty next time. But when they got done, they posted we ended up posting wallpaper of roles, like all their roles were on the walls, because there was no way to consume them. So after that, we went on to another project where I had learned this, and we really worked on a new methodology for another very large company. And within 6 months, we for a much smaller scope, we got it done and we got it delivered. And I was the lead on that project. So it gave me a chance to look at this problem close, and this multifaceted problem of business, technology, business processes, technology, and security. And I was really able to sort of, spend so much time between these two projects, maybe 2 years, just doing this day in, day out, traveling So it really gave me a good sense. So when I stepped out of there, I realized there was a big gap in the market around governance, access governance. And so I started with roles, and then I met a few kind of local customer, and they came in and said, "What is this? Do you know this about this access certification thing that we have to do?" I'm like, "What is this thing?" So they walked me through it. So we were then able to build the first technology product in Vayu, which was my first company, and we were the first ones to do governance but that's where it came from. I have seen it firsthand. So since that day, I consider myself a identity analyst or a practitioner, and I saw that problem firsthand, did the work myself, the technology implemented, and then when we started Vayu, I was deep in those same technologies that hadn't worked the first time, because now we knew what the technology could do, and I worked with the vendor to extend it, but we also kind of catered the business needs to that. So it sort of started ground up, and I saw the need, and it just sort of took off from there.
Yeah,
But I want to jump in, Jim. Sorry, apologies for that, because I want to take it in a completely different direction for a second. So if we just erase everything Sachin just told us,
take it in a completely different direction, okay? Yeah.
let's delete everything you just said. What would you be doing today if everything you just said didn't happen?
I think I would be running a different type of a company in security.
So you still think you'd be in security?
Yes, because I started with Ernst & Young, and there was no going back, and it was a great space, and yeah, I would still be in security.
So you wouldn't be a fisherman or
I wouldn't be a fish. I don't know how to fish. Anytime I've fished is in Alaska, when you could take the fish out with your hands, and then we were getting it open with the
or a catwalk model, maybe. I mean,
catwalk model. Yes, I think I need a few more folks to support that. I would love it. I think there is some of that is inside me. It'll come.
You're the showman, right?
Yes, yes.
So I think we should get a catwalk.
But
hang out with him a little bit more.
But I would say, in the end, I'm doing what I was meant to do.
Got it. Sorry, Jim. I'll let you carry on.
No, actually, I the thread here of the two big projects and the fact that you had significant failure in one, which causes pain, which causes learning.
Correct.
And so that correlation, deep learning, right?
Yes.
Because learning is painful, right?
Yes.
And then you started a company based on that experience.
Correct. I still remember the names of those roles from that project 20 years ago.
Huh.
Yes, and how our Excel sheets were set up and what we were trying to do. And that I don't remember all the details of the successful project, but the one that we couldn't complete successfully, I remember each and every detail of that project.
Is that right?
Yes. But you're absolutely right. That's what causes the learning.
You know what's really interesting there, right? Like you talk to any like successful athlete, or you see the interviews, and you know they will have won like multiple championships. We'll pick on Tom Brady, right? So Tom Brady, you know, seven Super Bowls. But when people talk to him, they ask him about like, oh, do you remember this Super Bowl? Like he barely remembers the wins.
Yeah.
But he can tell you every single detail about the loss.
That's right.
Right? Why they lost, the one that haunts him. Like he talks about, you know, the loss of the Giants against Eli Manning. Like to that day, like still, I was like, dude, you sit there and it's like, bro, you won 7 Super Bowls. Like, but it's the loss, right? That keeps you up at night. And there's a very interesting dynamic.
Sorry, David. I still remember the first loss when Jim Routh here didn't select us for his company, the first company. The second loss when he
bring this.
The second, it was a gut punch. I was like, what? And then the second company where Jim Routh took us out when we were implemented in his second company. It is absolutely true. That's why our friendship is so deep. Well, because that loss brings love.
So but I'm going to assume, Jim, you only work for us now to stop that happening again. Right? Like it was to take you off the table.
No, because that's what has made us learn. The deep learning has come from there.
There is something about Sachin that I've learned from this experience, which is he invested in the relationship with me. He didn't invest in the deal, because the deal went by the boards and we have a relationship.
That's it, yeah.
And that's why I'm sitting here. It's that relationship, because he made the investment. And it took me at least 2 times to figure it out.
2 times in a decade, and a decade of persistence.
That is
I have to bill you for all the conferences I attended to shake hands this year. Hell, HISAC, FSISAC, trees and the
$multi-million.
Did you not notice him following you everywhere?
Yes, I am stealth. I am shout.
I'm sort of worried about how healthy this relationship was.
It is. It is very deep. It is very deep. It is very deep. Yeah, please go ahead, David. Sorry, you did it. That's good.
But no, it's interesting that dynamic between that, like that people who find success and tie on to that pain and that kind of that loss, and instead of letting it drive you one way where it's like, oh, well, this won't work, I'm gonna go this way. Like it's almost, and I'll tie this into asking a question about your motivation, but it almost seems like you gain motivation from that. Like the more you find something and it's a no or it's a painful thing, like you learn and then come back and go, but I'm gonna figure this out, right? And I would assume that have to be the case because here you sit, right? Like, one company, and then you've got, a couple others. And so you've kind of created like this serial entrepreneur career for yourself. So like, what would you say like motivates you in those areas? What keeps you from going, well, I don't want to do this anymore, instead of then chasing gym for 10 years and finally saying no, like you're finally gonna keep my product in your company.
No, he's not keeping product. Now it's beyond that relationship, like he said. It's about first testing your limits, right? What can you do? First, I'm really blessed. I'm well blessed. You put in a lot of hard work, but the timing has to be right. The team has to be right. The macro setting has to be right. And it comes when you put in the hard work, but it still has to come together.
Yeah.
So I've been blessed with that. And I think my take is once you achieve some success, then how do you take those resources? It's like compounding interest now, right? You don't just take your money out. Right now it's compounding even more. So now you have, I started with a bachelor's degree from Cal State Northridge, right? So now when you look at from a local state school, now you don't have any big degrees to get you into any room, any boardroom, anywhere, right? So once you get some success, you get some resume built. Now you can get into a few conversations, right? And I'm a perpetual learner. I think that's one thing I would say about myself. I'm a perpetual learner. I never think I'm learning in every meeting. I'm learning in every room. So I think just overall, it's just now it's become exciting and fun again. The opportunity to work with such great folks and across our whole company and partners, you begin to feel that there is a respect for you in the market, and you're delivering to that, and now you have the ability to do it, right? That's number one. Number two is I have no other hobbies. So how much, what else am I going to do? Versus, doing this. But also you learn from looking at other folks, right? So I have to give a big shout out to Jay Chaudhary from Zscaler, right? I don't know Jay very well, but just interacting with him a few times and working. I mean, this again is a founder who's taken his company to the levels, but continues to move. And when you talk to others around him, it is not so much how he sees himself, how others around him see him and say that the biggest thing about him is not that he's amazing at what he's doing, is that he continues to fight every day. And that's what I learned. And my game is now, okay, let's continue to fight every day. And I have a tremendous belief in my experience and skill set to make the right decision and bring the right team together. So I think it's a challenge. It just keeps you moving. So I'm by the way, I'm doing some of my best work now, and in the best place, mentally, physically.
So I've got an observation and a question then, because before I joined, guess what, right? I asked Paul, like, so what's Sachin like? And he said he's the most genuine person you're
Young and handsome.
You didn't mention the handsome part. They're in the house. And I don't want to drop him in it. He said something completely different. He said, don't ever be in the same room with him. Just talk to him on the phone. But I mean, and honestly, I hear this from everyone, right? Like, genuine. And the thing I've noticed, on top of that kind of genuine nature you have, and I'd love to know, and I don't know if you can answer this question, but how do you bring the positivity? So for me, it's it's the genuine nature and the positive attitude you bring. I've never worked with a leader that has as much positivity as you have. And, you know, we've been on some difficult calls and I've been like, wow, how do I get out for this? And then Sachin speaks, I'm like, how is this? How are you bringing this positivity to this potentially awkward conversations? I'd love to know, like, where do you get your positivity from?
I think I'm a proof. I'm a.
And if we can inject it, like, we're happy to buy, like.
Yeah. I'm an eternal optimist, right? So I'm an eternal optimist. So I think, again, coming from New Delhi to LA and doing what I'm doing and doing what I love to do, I think I do some gratitude meditation every day. I go to sleep very happy. I'm happy for the things that are there in life. That gratitude meditation I picked up recently, I think is very powerful. And then in general, I mean, as long as we are all putting our best foot forward every day, and we all have the same mission, then there is, I mean, then why are we being upset? You know, then things will happen. As long as our intent is right, we're putting our best foot forward. Then it's just about, did we collectively not do something right? And I believe folks who yell, etc., it's a sign of your own insecurity and weakness.
It's self-frustration a lot.
It's self-frustration. So you can convey every message calmly and better, and also hear the other person out. So I'm an eternal optimist. Yeah, so that's why I'm married to who I'm married to. That's why I'm sitting with the people who I'm sitting with. I think if I had given
I'm going to take that wrong that he's optimistic. We might get there one day.
Yeah. So yeah, it's who I am. And I'm a happy person.
Sachin, how do you feel about somebody that shows up at a podcast and declares that he's the best looking stud of the bunch?
Only respect, huh? Only respect. That's you, buddy. That's you. It's only respect. And he knows who he is, and he's not aware. It's not afraid to show it.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, irrational confidence.
Yeah, you gotta.
You say that, sure.
Jim, you've heard it from the boss.
I did hear from the
I take that as endorsement.
Endorsement, 100%, any day.
The boss that you created. So I have one question. So you found success pretty early on in life, right? So what was I want you to take us back to, like, right after. So you sell value, and now, like, what's that first couple of months like, right? Like, were you just like, wow, well, I'm pretty sure it wasn't easy, but now you found this success, and, like, what drives you to kind of make the next jump, right? Why don't you just go find an island and sip on Mai Tais the rest of your life?
Yeah, first couple of months were, I think after first 2 weeks, they were quite horrible. And I think I've documented it well in another article. They were horrible. I was 28. I lost all zeal for life. I would go out, I'm like, oh, I could want Ferrari. I mean, we all tie ourselves to something to make ourselves feel better. Sometimes a new house, a TV, whatever, and I would go out and I would be like, okay, I want to buy a new Ferrari. I can buy it. I want to do this. I can do that. So I lost all motivation. I didn't know. But I used to work 16 to 18 hours a day, and all of a sudden it all went away.
Right.
And this amount of money came in, which you don't even understand, just some numbers on a sheet of paper. And I lost all motivation. I was on the sofa all the time. I think my mom pushed me out the first time. And then I think the second company got sold. Then my wife said, "You've got to go, because this is like, hey, this is not good for our relationship." So 2 times I've been kicked off the sofa, and thankful to both of them. So I think it was horrible. But I slowly I lost the mission, and then I found that mission again with some of the new companies, and there was never not looking back.
Next time you could just buy me a Ferrari.
Yes, for that's like
I'll give you
easy. But you please go and talk to our procurement team. How long does it take to get a PO through Saviynt? Talk to Jim Rouse. He will tell you this.
It's about half.
There ain't no Ferraris. There ain't no free Ferraris out there, brother. Let me
If you ever lose that motivation again, it's like, I have to buy all these things and I don't know what to do. I will happily be like, oh, yeah.
Yes, I understand that. I'm clear. I'm clear.
I'm just, I'm just there to help you, man. I don't want to see you go through that again.
I got it.
I'm there to keep you off the couch.
I got it.
And I'll be like, hey,
We're on the same page. Easy. I'll just set up a direct wire. Whenever I feel like one button's.
there you go.
I'd like to move to just a little bit of, let's move to the future now.
Okay.
So,
30 years?
yeah, you know, I mean, I like to ask the what will happen in 30 years question and see people go, what? But we want a prediction from you, Sachin, right? And we're not going to go too far out, but what do you think is going to be the biggest change in identity security in the next 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it is everything caused by AI. Surprise. But somebody told me recently that, hey, you should sell the company now, and I said, why? This is a investor or a sort of a very smart new investor, and we were having a drink, and I'm like, what do you mean? And he said, you know, all the applications will be self-authenticating and self-authorizing. And what would be your work? So I said, so applications will, let's even assume you get there. He's like, yeah, but I'm not sure how we get there, but I'm sure that's the future. Right? I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But then they are self-authenticating, self-authorizing off of what? Off of anything. There has to be something, some metadata, some information around something, identity, who you are, some rules, something defined that based on who you are, this is the access you should get, or this is the type of access, something. Like, we'll manage that. And then we'll manage those, the AI engine that is making those decisions. We are integral to this access management fabric, and it's now more important than ever. So that was interesting conversation. And but again, a very good conversation, like I said, something to learn, something for me to ponder, and always have it. And
Because that's a pretty left field input, right? But
yes, it's very left field. Yeah, it's an input, and it's an important input, right? Because sometimes we get so incrementally focused. You gotta see if there is an iPhone coming from the left field, right? Gotta be ready for that. But yeah, in my mind, I think the whole process of access giving, which I think we all agree, and managing and reviewing and compliance and security, I think it all changes in my mind in the next 3 years, and it changes very rapidly. It starts in 3 years, and then there is a long tail, like there always is, right? And how we just have to build identity and access in the fabric of the company. You come in and, based on certain things, we are giving you the right access and managing, making it super easy through voice calls. We are talking to some partners about picking stuff off of voice commands. We are, many different modalities, right? But just making it the fabric of the company, right? This by itself is on top of the business doesn't work, right? It is as it's part of the business, and as the business changes, this changes, but also the extent of the scope increases to all the, now that we talk about machine identities and IoT devices and everything else, and we are managing access.
So it's a paradigm shift in the integration then. I mean, so because the fabric, the fabric becomes the fabric because it integrates with everything.
Correct. And yes, at the core, not as a layer on top. See, so far what we've done is our goal has been, hey, you don't have to make any changes to your underlying systems. We will just put a wrapper around it. Now, as the systems are changing and they will become more dynamic, we will be truly within the fabric of those systems. Right? So that's what I think it's exciting, very exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yes.
All right, so listen, we know you're a very busy man, so we're respectful of your time. So one question each. We're going to come down, and then we're going to wrap. It can be whatever you guys want. Good luck with whatever Simon's getting ready to ask you. So because of that, we're going to start with Jim.
Yeah. So
Red wine. Call him red wine.
red wine. Tell me, Sachin, what's your view on talent development? Like, how important is that to attracting and to developing talent to grow in identity the way you have?
Yeah. So I think my biggest job is attracting talent and also building talent. I think that's my number one job. I think of myself more as an organizational architect than a security or a technology architect now with time. And I spend most amount of time with our hiring and recruiting teams and our internal team members, making sure they have a good career path. I think that's our secret sauce, right?
How did he get through the cracks?
Yeah, it's the good looks and the accent and
Good looks.
and the accent and the accent. You just can't ignore that.
That's
So, and then he's done his share of a little bit of identity for a 500,000 user company. Who cares about that? So, Simon is the real deal, guys. By the way, please check him out in a technology project. He's the real deal. Yeah, I think it's critical. I spend a lot of time. I take a lot of pride in that, and I think the secret sauce of Saviynt is our culture and our team. I mean, we hang out together for dinners. We hang out for Super Bowls. Soccer finals.
Super Bowl is a event. It's a big game in the U.S.
There is a ball.
It's like the biggest world event that there is. You may not be familiar with it, but yeah, that's what it
If
is.
you could brief me afterwards.
No, I'll do that. Yeah.
Yes, I mean that. Thank you, Jim, for the translation. So, but I think it's super, super important, and I like I said, I think I take a lot of pride in it, and I think there is no other way to grow, and we are working very hard to attract the best folks and then help them with the next step in their careers, but also on the other hand, really focus on bringing in a lot of people from universities, or both in U.S. Around the world, Europe, India, and then give them a very good career path. I think that's the university piece is also the lifeblood of our company. So I think that's my job number one.
I like it.
Yeah.
Nope. Say the best for last. So you.
So then
And he didn't say best looking. He said best.
he did, yeah. It's a bit of a technical question, so apologies for this. But sweet or salty?
Salty.
That's it. I'm good. Honestly, that is the right answer.
That's the right answer.
And if anyone says sweet and salty,
Yes.
Get out.
Salty all day long.
yeah.
So when you were looking at the Ferrari, what color were you looking at?
No, I wasn't looking at it, bro, because it's not the way have you seen my car?
I have not seen.
Okay. It's a Tesla that looks like a Toyota Tercel. Okay. Pontour, whatever the car we all drove in college. I can't even get anybody in the company to sit in my car. I am not very good with cars. Okay, Paul hasn't sat in my car for 1 year. Okay. So I'm not a car person.
Not a car person.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're not so secondary question, you're not a car. What are you then? What kind of, you're a dog person, cat person?
I have no dog, no cats. I'm an identity person.
Oh, jeez.
So I am an identity person. That's all I do. That's all I know how to do. Huh? That's all I know how to do. That's what I do.
All right.
Yeah. No dogs, no cats, no Ferraris, nothing else going on.
All right. I'm going to take you car shopping. We're going to fit.
No good clothes, as you guys can see. So, but great identity products.
There you go.
There you go. That's why we're here. That's what's most important.
We got to do something great. So there it is. Listen, Sachin, thank you so much.
Okay, I want to say a last thing. Okay. Okay, so listen, thank you again for inviting me. Again, I'm honestly honored. Given this is my first official gig on a real camera, real set, I want to dedicate it to my mom, and she would be proud always. And I want to end with that. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Listen, everybody, that's the conversation. And we're going to have plenty more. So make sure you like, rate, subscribe, whatever podcast platform you're watching this on or listening to this on. If you're on YouTube, drop in the comments. Please tell Simon the truth because somebody needs to. It can't come from us. He's not going to listen. So tune in next time. More guests, more fun, more conversations.
Thank you.
All right. First one in the books. What do you guys think?
I mean, guess what, right? I mean, it's Sachin, so it's genuine.
Yeah.
It's honest. It's open. I mean, I think a bit more about the future. I think we missed a chance for him to tell us how do we get to the future.
Right.
Because honestly, I think there's a lot to be learned from history, but like honestly, like because he brought up a possible future that is, I mean, how I haven't heard that before. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but I think one of the things we have to do is get people's perspective on the future, because none of them are going to be right, but the more that we understand, the more that we can, I think, knit that stuff together, because we're all going to play a part in the future, and we just need more input. So I think that's a great start. I mean, I think, hey, it's pretty wild, but it's not that wild, and I want to hear more of that sort of stuff.
I mean, what we're doing now was wild 30 years ago, right? So and it's always relative. So you really kicked Sachin out? And
Twice. And to be fair, we screwed up the projects. So it wasn't.
But you put the blame on him.
Well, that's what you did. You blame the vendor, of course. Yeah, true story.
That's awesome. It was interesting for me, right? I've heard of Sachin for a while. Like he's been a name in the space, and it's funny because I remember Value because at the time, right around my first project, we were getting ready to purchase Value, right? And it was right before Sun brought them, and then we just didn't go down it. So it's always interesting. Like you hear these people and you're kind of in their orbit, and then you just get a chance to learn more about them. But I'm really upset about the car thing. That is now my mission. I'm going to change that. We gotta. We can't have this man rolling around in a Tesla.
All I heard is he's not going to choose the car for you. Yeah. Well, there's still opportunity there.
I'm putting that in the rider, right? And all three of us, like I put that in the rider. It's like next time he gets unmotivated, we're all getting Ferraris, man.
It was disappointed we couldn't even nail him to the color.
I know.
Right? It's like, I mean, who cares about a model? Well, it's like, but what color? Do we even know what color Tesla is?
I've been in it. I don't even remember.
Oh, so you've been in it?
Yeah.
Just not Paul.
Not Paul.
Okay. All right.
Well, I think Paul did it once, and I was there.
That was it.
But let's just address the elephant in the room then, because yep, my maths is pretty good. There's only three of us.
There's only three of us. Yep.
What happened?
So unfortunately, he did kind of wish his own demise. Enrique said, "Hope it doesn't get fired," and unfortunately, that's what happened.
That's what happened.
Off the podcast. Just kidding, folks. No. It's Enrique couldn't join us for that conversation, but he'll be back for multiple conversations, and we'll get that, and that's going to be fun. It's always interesting. It's going to be very interesting getting all these different perspectives, right? And how we see things and considering all our different backgrounds. I think it's going to add a lot of depth to a bunch of these conversations and really just kind of bring in things that we never thought we'd probably get those perspectives or get out of these conversations. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, so let me be clear. I'm English, so I'm hyped. I'm hyped. It's kind of, it's quite exciting. Like, that's how I'm genuinely up for it. And yeah, so there you go. It sounds like it's going to be okay. I mean,
well, we'll just have to wait and see.
Looking forward.
Seriously, that's the best you got? It's just
I think he nailed that. I like that.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
well, that's a big up, right, for me.
It is.
Like,
Yeah. Okay.
All right. He's representing, English.
We just gotta get some liquid cartons. All right. Till the next conversation, folks. We'll see you guys.